EnglishTim here. Today I'm doing my part 2 of my review between Lunar and Solar. What are the differences? You'll see I'm doing a side-by-side comparison, or top and bottom officially, and it'll show the different changes there are between the two different versions of the game. So join me now to see more on that. There's Solar and there's Lunar. Now, Dragon Stones, they have now released version 3 stones in the offerings. However, those have been available a long time in Solar. And the costs, you can see, are very, very different. However, that varies with time. So having just finished filming my sequence on the difference between Lunar and Solar, they've actually made a change in Solar. The offerings now have level 4 primal scales in addition to the level 3, and they've actually removed the level 2. Now the stones also have different values for the elemental scores, so if you go into your dragon and into a draconic, if I compare the two M1s, for example, this is a level 2 exquisite stone. I only get 10 elemental points in Solar, but I get 20 in Lunar, so they've given you a lot more basic points, and you can see the stats again 10 times higher in this version of the game, but that's consistent with the fact stats are just 10 times higher in this version. Doesn't matter that these elementals are lower as long as the draconic skills are activated with a lower proportional score as well. So you can see here you get 40 for this top one, 40, 10 and 10, 80, 20, 20. So actually you get half as many points in Solar, but you only need half as many points. So it actually balances out exactly the same. Big ticket one for me that makes me sad, there's no shop event. So in the Lunar version of the game, once a month you get an event where you do a load of challenges and you get tokens, and those tokens you can buy whatever you want, and some of the stuff is really good. So non-spenders, low spenders are able to get hold of good items much slower than the big spenders, granted, but you can still get them and choose what you want. That's really not the case in Solar. They just don't have an equivalent, and I think that's a big loss. Daily tasks are different, the prizes are different. So what's in your chests will vary slightly. So you see at the top here that you get Lord experience here and Dragon experience here, so minor changes. And the actual challenges are different. You have to complete a Path of Legend stage here. So actually you've got one extra slot here, which allows you to get your points more easily. The price of items in the store, resources I was looking at before, so resources, 10,000 food is 5 gold, whereas in this version of the game 10,000 food is 10 gold. Interesting, I can't see the King's loudspeaker in the store. I'm trying to think whether they have the King's loudspeaker in this version of the game. Maybe they don't. The Alliance store has the Alliance area has fewer things available. You don't have access to the goods exchange or the spirit altar in the Solar version of the game. Spirit altar allows you to do fairly complicated ceremonies to get hold of items. You have to use other resources, so it's not a huge loss. I think that's fine. I'm happy with that. Alliance celebration, you get some good way of getting hold of noble badges and other things, so that's a bit of a loss. It's the prizes that are the loss, not the way that you do things, I think. And you also have spirit achievements, so you've lost all of these items that give you sort of Alliance related materials. And then you've got the Merlins Trials, which appear in this boat here. In the Solar version of the game it's called the Knight of the Lake. Here you do specific challenges fighting troops based on the quality of different types of gear, so gemstones, artifacts, dragon equipment trials. The Knight of the Lake, it bands it all together into a single score effectively, so this makes more sense to me that you can upgrade anything and get further through. This one you've got to wait for a specific day to get further through, so I do prefer the Path of Legend. Again, it works very similarly, that you send out a march and you attack. Here's your march. You don't have any ability to change anything at all, so this is a little less decision making. There's less strategy in the Lunar version of the game, so I think I prefer the Solar version of this. And your progress through here opens up new levels of things that you can get in the shops. So again, there's I like this process, I think, better than that one. There's no Dragon Spirit and Dragon Spirit Labyrinth, which we have in this version of the game, and that's not a big loss. I found the Dragon Spirit and the Labyrinth quite tedious to get through, so actually I'm glad they got rid of it in the solo version of the game. I didn't think it added a huge amount of value. That also meant that this building here does nothing in this version of the game, whereas in Lunar you get the Spirit Chamber and your Dragon Spirit, which gives you some extra skills as well. So that is another thing that's not available. Now Dragon Shatter, this is an interesting one. If I want to use a Dragon Shadow, let's go take out one of these monsters. And he's on his way. So now if I try and attack a monster, now my dragon is out, I have access to the Shadow, which is the same on both versions of the game with one difference. In the solo version of the game you can buy a 1 hour Shadow for around $5. That's just not available in the Lunar version of the game. So actually that's valuable for the lower spenders, that they can get this benefit for a small amount of time. They may choose to use it depending on the event. Mega Rallies cost a lot more in the solo version of the game than Lunar. So if I try and do a Mega Rally, it's 2,000 on solo, 5,000 on solo. So they're making gold go a lot less far in the solo version of the game. And in the marketplace there's a lot fewer things. So in the Lunar version of the game you can see there's the black market, the auction house, the alchemist corner, marketplace. There's only the alchemist corner in this version of the game. So in Solar you have basically 2 of the shops that are available, or 3 of the shops, sorry, that are available. You have the same set of shops in the Lunar version of the game, however you get more options, and you also get access to the Crucible where you can melt down stuff you don't want to get hold of prizes. And then you've got a marketplace. I don't think that's a huge loss. The auction house, however, you get to use gold and turn it into some quite valuable things. You can see here the 3-hour march capacity boost. You can bid against other players to get hold of those, and there's lots of other powerful items in here as well. So now the event rewards. Now the rewards do differ, and that makes sense, the different versions of the game. However, it's quite sad how much worse the rewards are in Solar than Lunar. If I compare Excalibur Invasion, you can see all the very useful stuff that's available here, and really important, these royal badges. They're really critical to your progress in the game. Compare that to Solar, and it's only got a small number of noble badges, so those are a lot less valuable, inverted commas. But if everyone struggles to get royal badges, I understand that we're all limited the same. It does put a huge break on free to and low spenders though. There's very, very hard to get hold of royal badges in the solo version of the game. Virtually spinning a wheel is the only way I've found so far. They've got rid of the vault as well, so here you get to invest gold and you get a return on your investment. It just doesn't exist in the solo version of the game. Again, not a huge loss, but it's just another small thing that you can't do. And the Alliance Treasure Hunt, this one upset me as well, that in the Alliance Treasure Hunt in the Lunar version of the game, you just spend 200 gold, so you buy a pack for 200 gold and you can get all the prizes right up to the very top level. So if you're in a big spending alliance, you still get the benefits of being in a big spending alliance. However, in the solo version of the game, you have to spend enough to qualify for each level, so if you've not spent a lot of money, you don't get the top prizes. So the smaller spenders here just can't ride on the coattails of the bigger players, I admit that, but in a way it seems sad that you can't sort of work together on that event. So that is the different versions of King of Avalon. There's loads of little changes that add up to quite a big change. You won't swap between them very quickly and easily. If you're playing them both now, let me know in your comments down below whether you think that one is better than the other, whether you're going to try and focus on one version of the game or the other. And also for those people who don't know whether or not they want to switch, I'm trying to work out now. They haven't got any new players into Lunar for about a year, and they've been only getting new players into Solar. So presumably they're pushing Solar as their new version of the game. However, they're doing a huge amount of development work on Lunar. They do loads of new things, loads of new gear, new heroes. They're putting a lot of money into Lunar whilst not bringing any new players in. So your guess is as good as mine. Are they going to try and push Lunar as their main game, Solar, or are they going to keep them both? That is something I find really interesting. At some point, if they want to keep Lunar, they're going to have to start putting new players into the old game. So, keep your eyes peeled, see if they do start pushing new players into a version of the game. If that does change, it will change potentially which one is the winner in the long term. Can they run them both? I don't know. So I am EnglishTim, thank you for watching my content. If you're enjoying my videos, please do click on that subscribe button and on the notification bell if you want to receive updates about my upcoming videos. I've got a series at the moment on how to improve your battle performance, so my ultimate fighting guide, so please do check that out. And I do a lot of how-to videos on both Solar and Lunar, so I look forward to you joining me on my next video.